Hey YouTube, there's an outage, so we can't play Last Epoch today. Obviously, that means that we should make a tier list instead. We have a tier list of 12 unique items that just got added. There's like 60 or so unique items that got added in patch 1.1, and by and large, I think Last Epoch did a really good job with adding these items in the game because they're sweet. It was hard to choose one for the build contest, and I would have happily done a build contest for any of these because I think they're all pretty cool. But we gotta make content, baby. So we're gonna make a tier list based on items that I like, maybe items build around the items, the strength of the item. I'm gonna have these items pulled up on my second monitor because some of them I don't know by heart, believe it or not. So what I've done is use lousy.tools.com. Remember, you can go to resources, click on items. You can click on patch 1.1, this 70, and it'll show you all the unique items there. If you search for Harbinger, it'll show you most unique items that are relevant. It'll also show you Harbinger of Stars, which funny. The two that are missing off of this are the two items that drop from Aberoth. So Nihilus and the Seed helmet, Seed of Echidrosil. So that's where we're getting our information from. In any case, what are we doing with this? Wall of Nothing S tier? Done. So I love Wall of Nothing. I don't think it's S tier. I'm gonna read the. I guess I can just show the item here, right? It's chance to take no damage, ward decay threshold, endurance threshold, and then percentage of endurance threshold added as ward decay threshold, and it also gives you some like ward per second. I think this item's fucking awesome. Like we've been talking about using this item along with a Vessel of Strife as like a hybrid kind of defense. You get 2,000 or 2,500, maybe even 3,000 life, and then you just like put on your Wall of Nothing on top of that, and it gives you a good chunk of ward. Like it should be easy to get like 3,000 ward or something. Maybe a little bit of ward retention. You could do a little bit, but like seeing this on like a Primalist build would give me no pause. Like I want to see high end build guides pop up that have people using like Wall of Nothing plus a Vessel or Wall of Nothing plus Twisted Heart, maybe just like something else that helps you generate ward, right? Like Twisted Heart already wants you to build a bunch of life, and then Wall of Nothing also wants you to build a bunch of life. So it's prohibitive because it's in level 85, and it's non-trivial to get this thing with 1 or 2 or god 3 LP. But yeah, I think like 1 LP. I think 1 LP is like a. I mean, I've got a 1 LP that has +4 to Tempest Strike, so I'm gonna use that at some point. So that means it's good because I have it. Is it S tier? Probably not. It's like it's gonna be like a hybrid life kind of thing. Twitch chat, what are you thinking? It's wall viable for builds with no ward investment. I think you want something else that helps you generate ward as well. So, like we just said a second ago, it gives you ward decay threshold, and that's really the number one thing that it does, right? So if you have a way to get to that threshold, like once you get hit, like you take a big hit, your ward goes away. Building back up to that ward decay threshold should be extremely easy to do. And like having another like a barrier of 1, 2, or 3,000 health on top of what you already have, to me, it's pretty good. It also has up to 16% chance to take no damage, which is kind of like 16 dodge chance just for free. So I'm act on not like dodge rating, but like dodge, chance for like nothing to happen. I don't know. I think this thing's really good. I'm missing null portents. I am missing null portents. Wait, how come null portent didn't show up on my list? I'm totally missing null portent. Oh, because it's an Abbey drop, and I always forget that it's an Abbey drop. You're right. You're totally right. Is it exclusively Abbey? It is. It's a 47.62% chance. Got it. Oh my god, I totally missed it. There's 13 items, dude. Not 13 items. Not 12 items, 13 items. Okay, we'll smack null portent onto the end. God bless. There you go. The fat armor doesn't drop from the fatty. Yeah, weird, huh? Alright. Get this thing out of here. I'm gonna put it in A tier. I don't think it like maybe S tier is like game changing. Can I call it game changing? Here, what color text should it be? Boop. How do I make the text not white? That's fine. Abby's scepter doesn't drop from Abby either. Abby's scepter doesn't drop exclusively from Abby. We're gonna find out what these are titled as we put things in there. For example, Nihilus, right? Nihilus is a game changer. It has all that, it has life, movement speed, armor, all res, +2 more multiplier for your armor, which is relevant because people are using armor to get their dot mitigation these days. Like this is a game changer, right? You know, Wall of Nothing might even be B tier. I don't know what B tier means yet, but it might be B tier. maybe like niche. Frenzy. It even gives you frenzy. It does. I never click that button because I use the crab ring and I don't care about the crab. It does. If you don't have like permanent frenzy or something, then it's gonna give you a source of frenzy too, which is cute. Yeah, I think Nihilus is a game changer. What's something that's like slightly worse than with like Nihilus? Like not a game changer, but still super good. I think I want to put Seed right here. What is category A called? So Seed of Echidrosil is an item that like I think is so fucking cool. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen in case you haven't seen it before. So this item, it has damage dealt to mana before health, but it doesn't have the mage exclusivity on it, like something like Fractured Crown does. So damage taken from mana before health, it has a 5-to-1 ratio of DR built into it, and then it also has this endurance applies to all damage dealt to mana, which sounds awesome. It's like this helmet, if you have anything that like recovers a bunch of mana, like what recovers a bunch of mana, you could be like a self-cast smite build and then use like Seed of Echidrosil. Oh, I guess, wait, hold on. Let's go. What is this gladiator helmet? What is this? The mana recovered when you use smite is on your helmet. So you'd have to have like a 1 LP seed in that case. But like Vengeance recovers mana. Harvest, the affix for recovering mana on harvest use is on your body armor, and then there's a unique relic for it too. So you could be like a damage taken from mana before health lich using harvest or rip blood, or it's like any old thing that recovers mana. Like this is a really cool helmet. I love the addition of this to the game. Not every build's gonna be able to use it. Like I don't think it's a game changer. Like I don't think it's gonna have like as much of a splash as Nihilus is. But I think Seed is just like awesome. Huge but niche? Is that a category name? Huge but niche. God, why is the text like it's like the worst color? Why is it brown? Oh my god, it's so ugly. Null Portent, and I say this with zero hyperbole, is one of the most important unique items we've had in a while. You think Null Portent's a game changer? Where's my window? So Null Portent, when I look at it, I see Titanheart, but it doesn't have the two-handed melee requirement to it. So less damage taken per 2% resistance above normal resistance above the cap. So if you have 40, if you're 40 over cap, right? Having 85% fire res divided by, like it's 10 divided by 2 is 5. It's biz for one-handed builds. Yeah, I mean, you need to make the dream happen first, right? You need to be 40 res overcapped. So, like, something like a paladin, for example, has lots of access to resistances. But, like, you don't always get infinite access to all of your resistances. Like, are we taking, like, all the resistance blessings? We have to consider? You gotta consider, like, this makes you reevaluate tier 6 and tier 7 resistance rolls. Some of those reses aren't as important. Interesting. This makes plus to all res on like shields, for example, would be really strong. This actually works really well with a Nihilus that also has plus to all resistances on it, right? Yeah. Oh, you know what? Null Portent Shaman? Yeah. Fizz or poison? If you're going poison with this, you want to overcap the shit out of your poison. Right? Because poison shreds automatically. You want like like 200 poison res for your null portent. Yeah. Just get tier 7 res mods somewhere. Take a few random stuff. You thought Nihilus is a reduced res? No, Nihilus rolls between plus and minus. Yeah, so yeah, null portent. If you have access to this, it actually makes me want to play a shaman. As more people start to build it, you think people will believe or realize how strong it is. Interesting. I mean, I've been asking for a while to see more unique items added to the game, like Titan Heart, and Null Portent is the response to that. It's a Titan Heart that everyone can use, but instead of just like you use a two-hander, you get the payoff. It's you need to build into the payoff. I guess I can call Null Portent game changing. It's also a really easy drop, right? It's super common from Aberoth, assuming that you can get your character to that point. Cool. All right. I'm gonna put it up there. I don't. These colors are terrible. This is the worst colors possible. Pardon me. I'm still getting over being sick. I'm not quite there. Game changing. Huge. I'm just gonna say huge. Big. It's the big category. Are there cases where you consider using a wall or null portent if you're using a two-hander? Yeah, the payoff for null portent's higher. It's 20% instead of 15%. Grande? Are we gonna name these like coffee drinks? It's pretty funny. All right, what's up next? We already talked about Nihilus a second ago. Remember, chat, Nihilus has between plus and minus rolls. So it's plus or minus percent increased health, plus or minus percent movement speed, plus or minus percent mana, plus or minus res, plus or minus armor. It's like everything is plus or minus. It's awesome. I love stuff like that. What else is easy to place here? Oh, let's can I get the seed out of here? I can't? Okay, brutal. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so 13, I just like ignore these last two. How about Aberoth's command? I don't know what B, C, and D tier mean. Cool. Does C mean cool? Maybe it does. Cool. What the fuck? Wait. I don't know what these buttons do. Wait, this is supposed to be big. B is for big. Why are these colors just terrible? I don't understand why they give you the worst colors possible. All right, whatever. What the fuck? Awesome. What is A tier? What does A tier mean? Yeah, you wanna go ahead and put the quiver at the bottom. The quiver's good. What does the quiver do? Something. I promise it does something. We can talk about it for a moment because it's not garbage, right? It has a lot of flat dodge rating on it, which is relevant. Oftentimes when you're building dodge, the flat dodge is the hardest part for you to get on your gear. Especially without, sacrificing something else. So it's nice that this is here. Percent dodge, awesome. Gain Dust Shroud on dodge. So like the more you're dodging hits, the more the next hit will be glanced. Sure. There's also some payoffs in terms of damage for Dust Shrouds, I suppose. I think this part here, chance to gain a black arrow on dodge. I think this should just be like deleted off the quiver and put into a node on the dark quiver skill tree. I think this should just be in dark quiver, right? It's cool. For a long time, the only quiver that's existed in my mind has been Arrow Guard, the quiver that has like armor and glancing blow on it. And of course, it was nerfed at some point, but like having two quivers that compete with each other for being defensive, I think is really good. Quivers, by and large, are pretty boring. I think unique shields are pretty boring too. I don't know which one's worse. Probably quivers are worse because you know the quivers. But yeah, I don't know. It's a quiver. It's a marksman build. D stands for Darksman. Maybe someone who like plays marksman has a more hot take about phase point. Is phase point a game changer? Pardon me. Hey, Frozen, what's going on? We're making tier list, buddy. You're just in time. All right. I don't know what like these tiers are. We've got game changing. We have A tier. We got big. I think this should be big. I'm gonna call it niche. I don't know. You were able to get into the game? I'll give it a shot, but I'm not even in the queue over here. What are we doing next? How about the BBC? I think chat likes a good BBC. What a cool sword. What's this thing do, chat? Black Blade. So this one is, it's on a good base type, it's an Odachi. And then it gives you the anime playstyle of like having a drastically reduced time for you being locked in your animation for Lethal Mirage. It basically happens instantly, which is sweet. Now we're talking about the BBC. We talked about a possibility of playing BBC as like some kind of stun build. So the overlap between Shock and Time Rot is non-trivial. Shock increases the enemy's chance to receive a stun, and then Time Rot increases the duration of the received stun. So if you did like a stun combo thing, you build some stun chance, you have these ailments that help your build as well. You could use a Somnia helmet, which proliferates stuns, and then maybe you're even using a skill that has like more damage against stunned enemies. Like Volatile Reversal gives you more global void damage against stunned enemies, or Devouring Orb has more damage against stunned enemies. And most of the time those things are memes, but like, you know, maybe there's a skill out there that has that node that works out well with an Odachi. I feel like there's some interesting stuff that you could do with this. We were talking about it previously. The biggest payoff for being like a stun build, or especially using Somnia to proliferate your stuns, is being in arena. So I guess if you're in arena, maybe you care about this. I think this thing is like cool. I think it goes right next to Aberrot's command. I don't think it's like a particularly game-changing item. Like it's neat, but it's gonna have like its build, right? Maybe like one build. There, something along these lines. There you go. What's next? How about World Splitter, chat? If I'm being completely honest with you, we're doing a build contest right now for Bane of Winter, and like now that I've put, you know, a couple hours into brainstorming Bane of Winter, I feel like shit. We were supposed to do it for World Splitter. You know, like fuck. No. You're in? I'll see if I can get in too. But World Splitter is like a really generic item, right? It has nothing on it, right? It's just like World Split. It doesn't mention his skill or anything. It says melee void damage, area per 1 mana cost. Crit chance per 1 mana cost. Crit multi per 10 maximum mana. Holy shit, dude. So if you get 1,000 mana, it's 100 crit multi. I guess that's not insane, but like, it is a nice little suite of things here. The build contest would be like everyone just like builds a fuck ton of mana and then plays a different skill. So like you wouldn't really be building your characters differently, I think. But it is a really, really interesting item. The percent increased mana, the mana regen stuff. I think I've seen a lot of people using this with Erasing Strike. Have I seen anyone using World Splitter outside of Erasing Strike? Chad, is anyone doing non attack melee crit multi area for melee skills? Okay, God bless static orbs, not a good choice. You like maze more? Yeah, maze for the more multiplier as well. I think I'm gonna put World Splitter like next to Wall of Nothing. It definitely gets used in more than just one build, right? You haven't seen it outside of Erasing Strike? I feel like it should be used outside of Erasing Strike, right? Huh. I don't know. What's it say? Crit chance per mana cost. Per 1 mana cost. So if you have like a max roll, it's 5. And if your skill costs, let's say your skill costs 10 mana, this would be plus 5 crit, which is not insane. If it costs 10 mana, it'd be 5 crit and like 20 AoE. And the biggest payoff would be the crit multi per maximum mana. I guess stacking attunement or something could be fine. Barely anyone trying the new uniques. You know, stacking attunement, building maximum mana, using a skill that wants big AoE on it. You could maybe use that with Gathering Storm. Maybe World Splitter goes down here. Maybe it goes at the top. I'm gonna put it up here. Aberoth's Command. There's like plenty of different Warpath things you can do with it, but it has the name of a skill on it. I don't know. You can obviously use Aberoth's Command outside of the Void Cleave synergy because it's just a good scepter that has AoE, that has percent damage over time on it. Like it's like 250% damage over time, and like it's fine. But I don't know. I think it kind of goes down here. Maybe it goes up here, like generic, good, cool, one build. It is like a generically. It's kind of boring though. Maybe that's the next category, like generic, good, like generic, broad, generic, boring. I don't feel comfortable putting this thing next to Wall of Nothing. Maybe like build around. I'm gonna call it build around. I'll put this thing down here. There. How's that? Good. Love it. BBC. I'll put this down here as well. World Splitter at the top of the category. I guess maybe this thing goes here. If anybody in chat said that they were using World Splitter for anything other than Erasing Strike. Yeah. Maybe that's a category. It's just like stat stick. Let's put other things. You haven't tried it yet. I'm gonna put it down here. Like it's good. It's just I don't know. Maybe Aberoth goes up here. I don't know, man. I don't know where to put it. I feel like there's two different Aberoths. Like there's one Aberoth for Warpath and there's one as a stat stick. I'll put it up here. I'm gonna put it up there. Bane of Winter. I'm gonna put Bane of Winter in this tier right here, unfortunately. It enables the Erasing Strike archetype without needing to invest a lot in mana or crits. Maybe it does. That's an okay observation. I don't mind that. I think Bane of Winter belongs somewhere near the bottom of the tier list. If this tier list is A, B, C, D, E, then Bane of Winter probably belongs. What about, how about Event Horizon, as long as we're talking about weapons? It it fucks. It bonks really hard. So what does Event Horizon do? Event Horizon. Melee damage. Okay, so up to 72% penetration against all res. So if you're a hybrid damage build, this thing lets you do it. You gain dilation, more melee damage per stack of dilation, less attack and cast speed, less movement speed, more damage against slowed enemies. It's got big penetration. Like you thought the BBC was bad. This thing is like, it's a rock salad. So we talked about a number of different use cases for this. We talked about using this with like channeled melee healing hands because it ignores attack speed and it always attacks 4 times per second. Are people doing that? I mean, that's a use case for it. I can brainstorm builds that use this. Upheaval has a node that ignores attack speed. There's melee damage over time. You can do like something like Rive if you're crazy. You could do Locust or Swarm Strike or something. I wonder if the more multipliers from Event Horizon get doubled with Rive. Smelter's Wrath ignores attack speed as well. But like, is anyone doing those things? Less movement speed. You just use your evade when you lose the, or when you just like want to move. I don't want to put it next to Seed of a Kid Vasil. I don't think it's game changing. Maybe it goes here. You tried Smelter's Wrath, but then you were playing Smelter's Wrath. I completely understand. I'm gonna put it like right here. I don't think Wall of Nothing is as good as Seed. I think Seed's a really strong item. Wall of Nothing might belong up here. It might. That kind of makes it look more balanced too, doesn't it? Something like this. There we go. We're getting down to the items that I need to like pull them up because I don't necessarily know what they do. So Flames of Midnight is the ring. And I guess I wonder if I can show this to you. Can I find this video? I might be able to. Let's see. Here, let me show you this real quick. I was browsing around and I found this. And this is, what's this person's name? Scourge? Sure, this person's name is Scourge. And they were showing off the mobility that the Flames of Midnight ring gives to you. Take a look at this.
Okay, so this is why I believe that Flames of Midnight is probably one of the most broken items in the game. The spirit created by the ring always spawns on your cursor, and also any class that ideally wants to be casting a Fire, Necrotic, or Void skill, not spell, skill, can use the functionality of the ring in this way, in terms of the amount of mobility that it can provide. So, as you can see,
it makes you go zoom on Warlock. Yeah, watch this guy. Watch his mobility.
Screen, dodge, edge of screen. Oh, I double dodged into transplant. So I double dodged again. You need to be very controlled with it to actually get value, kinda, but yeah,
it's
and
like,
the range is actually further than transplant. Okay,
it's cool. It's a cool idea, and I like that there's like a tiny video like showing this thing off. It's got penetration. It does have penetration on it. You could ignore everything on this ring and just use it for the void penetration, or fire, necrotic, what have you. I'm kind of interested in actually converting Wandering Spirits to fire and doing like spell fire damage over time, like maybe with ignites, maybe without ignites. I think that's a really cool thing to do. But yeah, it's just like one of those items that replaces your evade with something else, and then also gives you swiftness for 20% movement speed. Yeah, it's like it's a generic ring, but it also has like some stuff that you could explore as a build. I'm interested in like playing a lich or a warlock with this thing at some point. I don't really know where it goes though. Is it AT? Is it build around? Is it game changing? Be honest with me, chat. Is it game changing? If there were the crab ring as one of these Harbinger slash Aberoth uniques, I would put the crab ring in game changing. No lie. I'd put crab ring right at the top where it belongs. You think it's strictly better than crab ring for warlock? Yeah. It's A tier. You run it on every warlock build. That's wild. I'll put it in here. A tier? B tier? You don't really build around it. I'll put it right here. I don't mind it. A tier? A tier. I like it. I'm gonna leave the one that I have no idea about for the last. So let's talk about Inevitable. This thing has vitality on it, and that's basically all I know. Inevitable. There we go. So the Inevitable combo build is that you use the event horizon and you lower your attack speed, and the slower you attack is the more time you get to take advantage of less damage taken while using your racing strike. It's got a pretty sizable chunk of health gain on kill, and it doesn't cost you any affixes. I think the worst thing about Inevitable is that it isn't a Citadel boot. So it doesn't have like 200 armor on it. It doesn't have a good movement speed implicit. And it doesn't have the less damage taken from crits, right? It's got chill and slow immunity. Sure. Is that good? It's kind of bad. Give more survivability than 25% DR with an actual pair of boots, so it needs LP. It goes great with World Splitter. No, it goes great with Event Horizon, not with World Splitter. It's got a lot of movement speed on it. Like, you can LP some stuff, but I don't know. No implicits. Yeah, I'm not. It seems like Twitch chat's not really into this thing either. I'm not into it. There's so many good boots. I'm gonna put it. All right. If you know, you know. Just like stat stick, dot, dot, dot. Sure. It's not an A, B, C, F tier list, but it kinda is. How about this last one here? Celestial Doom. Celestial Doom has text on it. I mentioned something previously, and I'm gonna echo this again for you. But a little bird told me that this text in here, where it says up to 500 mana, a little birdie told me that this text wasn't always here. But I'm pretty sure it's a good thing that it is. So what else? It's got Doom Pulse. So if you're using Celestial Doom, it's a staff. It goes up to 5 minus mana cost, which is cool. Are you using this for actual factual Doom Pulse? I don't even know what Doom Pulse looks like. Doom Pulse last epoch. Is there like a... No? Nothing? Alright, I have no idea what Doom Pulse is. It unleashes a wave of void energy in a target direction. Damage effectiveness of 500. Sure, yeah, but I wanted like a picture or something. It doesn't proc enough. It's a 4-second cooldown. But you could cast like a fire, then a cold, then a lightning, then a necrotic, then a void. Or something. Yeah, it's per type. So you could get it to like, like a 2-second cooldown or something. Or like a 1.5-second cooldown. You go like fire, cold, lightning, fire, cold, lightning. Kind of like spin. But then, what are you doing? I don't know. Very strange. Maybe a mage could make use of it. You just cast like a glacier static meteor, glacier static meteor. I don't know. Can you proc fire, cold, lightning all off of Frostclaw? No, you can't. You use 4 triggers? Yeah, like fire, cold, lightning, maybe like a void or something. There's no crit on this. You're right, it's a staff. There's no crit on it. So you'd have to do something for flat critical strike chance. Which is kind of rough, isn't it? Yeah. You just go non-crit. Easy peasy. You can probably with Ellie Nova? I don't know exactly how it works. Warlock or Lich? Maybe, maybe. So 1 spell damage per 10 maximum mana, 4 Doom Pulse. Crit multi, 4 Doom Pulse. So the generic stuff that it has at the bottom, like I kind of ignore this because I'm not sure how good it is. But at the bare minimum for this thing, you have the first line of text, which is cool for like kind of cheating on mana costs. You have flat damage, cast speed, which is like this is a good cast speed here. 200 ward decay threshold, and then ward per second. You see mana cheating? I don't think any of these are good enough for you to care about them. So I think if you're using Doom Pulse, you're either like a Doom Pulse. Sorry, Doom Pulse. If you're using Celestial Doom, you're probably using it for either the Doom Pulse text, which I have no idea how good it is. I can't evaluate it. Or this thing, because like this thing looks like it's ripe for abuse, right? This definitely looks like the biggest thing right here. Rune Bolt. Interesting. That's an interesting one. You feel like it's a builder on me item? If it's a builder on me item, I want to put it at the bottom of the build around tier. Why is World Splitter down here by itself? Poor World Splitter. The only reason that World Splitter's here instead of being like around the event horizon is that I only hear people doing Erasing Strike and nothing else. Menacing is interesting. It scales pretty hard. It's 500 damage effectiveness. And then wait, it's 500 damage effectiveness. What else does it scale on? It scales on 10 maximum mana. And 1 per 1 mana regeneration. Huh. That's kind of a lot. But like, where's your flat crit coming from? Oh my god. I cracked the code. You go Spellblade. Oh. Ooh. Spellblade for your intelligence. Your intelligence gives you flat crit and percent crit. Oh, baby. And then you cast Flame War. I think that there's a Spellblade build out there that casts spells. I'm not memeing about that. I think there's a Spellblade build out there that doesn't really use melee attacks and just focuses on like casting spells. And the reason that you would be a Spellblade is to make use of the intelligence, flat, critical strike chance stuff. Low life Blade Dancer? What? Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. God, it's crazy how we were both just thinking the same thing. I'm gonna drag this one down to the bottom. Put it right here. Build round? I guess maybe it's build round? If I didn't have the context around World Splitter, I would have put World Splitter up here instead. But now that I have context and I know what people are actually doing with it, it kind of downgrades the item. So Celestial Doom looks like it's in this like mid tier here. But I think after things shake out, I'll probably just like drag it down a little bit. So this is like game-changing A tier build round. Cool. There's like a build you can do with it. And then there's like, you know, stat sticks. Kind of mopey. Marksman items. I want more of them. I'm happy that we did this with like only the Harbinger stuff and the Abbey items instead of like the full 70 unique items. We'll do 70 unique items later, okay? Not this time. Next time.